So, hi everyone. I'm Sarah Harris, and I'm with the Florida Agritourism Association. And I'd like to take a moment to welcome everyone to today's webinar. And I just want to go over some housekeeping. Today we are with Harvest Host, and we're very excited to learn more about their program. And if you have any trouble hearing us, let me know. There's some suggestions on fixing. Sometimes you have the wrong microphone or setting. Um, so there's some just basic audio troubleshooting. Rules of etiquette, if we can all be muted so that we can hear the person speaking. If you have any questions, just type them in the chat box. I keep an eye on that, and if it's pertinent, I'll interrupt Ben. Otherwise, we'll take some questions and answers at the end. And if you're on video, try to stay focused so we're not all distracted. And just a brief who we are. Most of you are members of our association. We appreciate you. We have about 400 members, and view picks, vegetables, vineyards, you name it, we do it. And we're glad you could all join us today. And I'm going to introduce you to our host today. He'll talk more, but I just wanted to briefly introduce Ben Allen. He's an account executive at Harvest Host, where he helps farms and small businesses attract new customers and create additional revenue at no cost. With over 5,800 farms, wineries, and agritourism destinations partnering with Harvest Host, members spend more than $50 million annually visiting these locations. Ben is passionate about supporting small business owners in their success. In his free time, he enjoys camping, hiking, and exploring new cultures. So, welcome, Ben.
Thank you for that lovely introduction. Appreciate everyone having me today. Real informal, we'll just go over kind of the brief, synopsis of the program. Like Sarah mentioned, there'll be time for questions at the end, and we'll hear from Kathy and Bruce about their experience hosting. So we'll just jump right into it, and yeah, we go ahead and share this. All right, can you see my screen? Slideshow. That there. Cool. Like I said, we'll get right into it. So, turning parking into profit, increase your farm's revenue with Harvest Host. Just to start, about a third of our total host network, if not more, is made up of farm locations. So our members really value, this industry and being able to travel to visit your farms and really see what you guys have to offer. So excited to share with you how this can work for you guys, and we'll get right into it. So today we will talk about one, how the program works, just do an overview of, what we're about, how it would work for your farm, and go from there. We'll also talk about the host dashboard, which is essentially the profile that each host has to individually customize and promote to our membership. How to maximize your revenue will be a part of the presentation, and we'll get into that. Talk about a little bit about the requirements to host, and then yeah, at the end of the presentation will be the next steps on setting up your profile and getting in with Harvest Host. So our mission is to support small businesses and communities while helping millions of people live happier lives through road travel. Again, like Sarah mentioned, our members spend across our host network about $50 million annually at all host locations, I should say, which averages about $50 to $75 per Harvest Host stay. So on the right side of the screen here, is the thing in the way, the presenter thing? I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but just to kind of give you an idea of the spread of our host locations, like I said, about a third, actually probably more than, are made up of our farm and ranch locations, so over 2,000 of those. Over 1,700 of our host locations are what we categorize as attractions. This kind of falls into a couple different subcategories, but they include, museums, cool like niche industries. We have somewhere in the ballpark of 300 churches spread across North America, along with a whole bunch of other what we call attractions as well. Nearly 900 of our locations are wineries. About 700 are breweries, distilleries, and cideries. And then over 360 are golf courses. So as you can see here, we have a healthy mix of different types of locations across the map. And we're always looking to add more. But again, farms and ranches are by far our most popular category. So how it works, three easy steps here. One, as a host location, the idea is that you will highlight your offerings, what you do at the farm, whether that be products that you sell, services that you offer, as well as any amenities that you can provide. So our members, what we call our RVers, so our members are RVers. They're able to view your host profile when they're traveling to or through your area. So let's say they're, traveling to Jacksonville, Florida. They'll type in that location or the zip code on our interactive map. They'll see what hosts we have in that area, and then they'll request to stay based on host offerings and accommodations. From there, once they submit a request, that'll come directly to you in the form of either an email or a text message sent straight to your phone. And you can download, and I'll get into this in a second, but you can download the app on our phone or on your phone, or you could just stick to the website, whichever is your preference. But those notifications will be sent directly to you as a link that will take you into those applications. And then the third step, once that's all said and done, you'll be able to start welcoming our RVers from across the country and Canada as well. You'll enjoy meeting a community of travelers while also simultaneously increasing revenue. There's absolutely no cost to host with us. There's no fees or commission structure in place that would take money out of your pockets. All money made on site at our host locations goes directly back to our hosts, so we don't take anything from the host locations. It's also non-contractual. We understand that seasonality and different sort of business operations can sometimes interfere with something like this, so we don't hold anything as far as a contract is concerned. So you can host for as long or as little as you want. So kind of get a little bit more into the host profile. This is, at base level, we are a marketing company. So we want to emphasize that, we're here to help market your business and give you, solid exposure to people all across the country. So again, you can market your offerings in the form of products that you sell on the farm, whether you have a farm stand or you sell produce, any sort of meat, anything that you process on the farm, as well as branded merchandise. So if you, with your brand, if you sell t-shirts or stickers, hats, socks, whatever it may be, this is a good way. This is a good avenue to promote those items to people you might not otherwise have access to, as well as experiences. So I mentioned earlier, and if you offer a tour of the farm or an interactive petting zoo for the general public, this is another way to promote that unique experience that you offer on your farm. An important thing to note, our members are all required to be self-contained, meaning they don't need hookups or any amenities that you may not have on the farm. However, if you do have hookups available, you can always charge an additional fee for that, as well as any other amenities that you can provide. But again, totally not required to host with us. It's just an optional thing. You're also able to list house rules and instructions, things like, where you'd want the RVers to park once they're on your property, when you'd like them to check in and or check out, once they leave. If they're traveling with the generator, you can say, no use of the generator past 9 p.m. As well as, especially being on a farm, I would imagine you have farm animals. You can decide if you want to accept stay requests from travelers that travel with pets. Again, totally optional, but that's up for you to, dictate once you have access to the profile. And the program itself really is only designed for an overnight stay. However, in the past year or so, we've seen an increase in hosts that are willing to offer additional nights. Again, totally optional, but there will be a section on the profile where you can indicate if you want to offer additional nights or not. So like I mentioned earlier, really, really easy and really hands-on profile and website app that we work with our host. You're able to manage your calendar so you can block dates up to 3 months in advance. Again, with a winter, I don't know how much of an effect it has in all parts of Florida, but if you're deciding you don't want to start hosting people for the first few months of the year while still retaining an active host status, you're able to block dates on your calendar. as well as manage stay requests, message members directly after you accept a stay request, and more. We also have a two-way review system built into the platform where you can see ratings of members, you can rate them, and vice versa. They can rate your host experience. So you can kind of get an idea of, how the members traveled and what their patterns are, before they stay with you. And then again, for people that are more on the go, business owners, farmhands, everything like that, you can download our app and do everything that I mentioned on the desktop right on your phone. So it makes it a really seamless process, and you're able to, do it on the go. So requirements to host. Important thing here too is the requirements are very lenient, I should say. Really, the only few things that are required is, space for any RV of any size to park and then effectively turn around and leave the next day. Especially being a farm location, more often than not, there's additional space to accommodate most RVs, but you can actually limit the size of RVs that you want on the property. About 80% of our membership base travel in rigs no larger than 30 feet in total length. So if you need to go with the smaller size RVs, you're certainly not limiting yourself as far as this program is concerned. Products and services to sell. Again, anything that you can share with our members, they're happy to come purchase products from you and directly patronize your business while they're there. General liability insurance is encouraged and more so required. However, whatever you have in place should typically cover the scope of this program. I'm always happy to, after this presentation, to answer any questions regarding your specific location or hop on the phone after this is all said and done. Employee awareness is a big thing as well. So again, if you have farm hands or other employees on the property, we ask that you just let them know that you're doing Harvest Host and they're aware that it's going on, so no one's kind of caught off guard. And although this isn't technically required, we also ask that if you have a website, Facebook page, any other social media, to put that on your profile. Again, we are a marketing company, so we want you to be able to leverage our site to promote any events that you're having, any new products that you drop, anything like that. So just another way to use our company as a medium to access those customers. So things that aren't required, again, hookups. Our members are supposed to be self-contained, so you don't need anything like electric, water, sewer. If you have it, that's a bonus and that's great, but by no means do you need that. Again, it's a cost-free opportunity, so there's absolutely no monetary investment for you to become a host with us. We'll never ask you for money. We'll never ask for credit card information, anything like that. 100% cost-free. Also, no commitments. So again, as I mentioned earlier, there's no contracts involved. You're not signing on a dotted line, agreeing to a year-long term or anything. You could do it as often or as little as you choose to do, whether that be one day a week, all 7 days a week. There's no, quotas or metrics associated with being a host. Another thing is there's no RV experience needed. So, our members, of course, are RVers, but that doesn't mean that you have to be an RVer as well to know how to navigate within the program. A little incentive that we have for our host locations is once you sign up to be a host with us, you actually receive a complimentary Harvest Host membership. So you can use that as a tool to either travel, of course, if you're an RVer, but also see what other host locations are doing and kind of get an idea of what makes them successful and navigate the program. And then here's a little picture of a cool rig with a donkey right there. Just kind of give you a brief idea of what hosting looks like. But of course, this is individualized and different for everyone. So you're able to showcase as many pictures as you want on your profile and really make it your profile to show to our membership. So here's some common, frequently asked questions when it comes to hosting. What insurance do I need? Hosts are required to have general liability insurance coverage, whether that be through a farmer's policy or homeowners, really whatever you have in place, again, should typically cover the scope of this program. Our members aren't, pitching tents, starting fires, anything like that. They're really just staying in their vehicles overnight. So as long as you have that liability coverage, you should be good to go. Do I need to provide RV services? Again, self-contained. You do not need that if you have it. Definitely a bonus, but absolutely not required. Another one is, do I need to host every day? So you have complete control of your calendar and the number and size of RVs you allow. So what I generally recommend for new hosts is just to start with maybe one or two RVs at a time, and then you can gradually increase or decrease that as your business needs see fit. So if you want to start with just doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you can do it that way. Tuesday, Thursday, there's really no, again, metrics associated with that. It's based on your comfort level. We don't want to change how you operate your business. We simply just want to complement what you already have in place. And then what if I want to stop hosting? Uh, Again, sorry to sound like a broken record, but absolutely no commitment contracts. We always encourage people that are thinking about it just to give it a try. And then from there, if you decide that you want to keep doing it, or if you want to, pause your listing, or if you just want to go inactive for a while, you can do any of those things. We make it really easy for people to, uh, operate within our system again while not changing what they are currently doing at the farm. So these are some frequently asked questions. Of course, we get more, but these are the ones we see most commonly. So really just to kind of wrap it up, and then we'll hop into talking about it with Kathy and Bruce. It's really a win-win program for everyone involved. So there's increased annual revenue for our host locations. So you're maximizing your sales with minimal time investment. And again, you keep 100% of all money made on site from our RV members. It is passive marketing. So we have approximately 250,000 total RV travelers in our network, and you're able to again leverage what we have built to share your experience and your business with those 250,000 members. A less common, but definitely something more important, shared experiences. So we're really building a community here. We're having members travel to locations across the country that they may not otherwise go to. So this is an opportunity for you as farmers to share what you guys do, share your unique experience, and really just give the members a awesome place to stay at overnight. So it's really a win-win all around. The members get to stay at locations instead of maybe your typical campground. They get to stay at a cool farm location, and then you as a business owner get to reap the benefits of added revenue at no monetary commitment. So that basically wraps up my presentation. We will hear from host Kathy and Bruce Volling at Voluma Acres. They've been with us for about 2 years. As you can see on their profile there, they have nearly 250 reviews and almost a 5-star rating. So I'll just pass it off to you guys. We'll talk a little bit about your experience, and then any questions for any of us at the end, we'd be happy to answer. So Kathy and Bruce, I'll pass it off to you guys, and I guess I'll just start by asking what is your experience been with hosting? What do you like about it, and we'll just kind of go from there.
We've loved it. We've been doing this like almost 2.5 years now, and we have yet to have a bad experience with any of our campers, uh, except for some minor things. Everything has been really above board. We can't be happier with it. We only do this 3 days a week, and we only do two RVs at a time, which is our choosing, which works out great for what we do.
Awesome. Um, and I guess the time have you when you initially set up the profile, did you guys just start with one or two and kind of increase it from there? Or I guess how did you start with the program? Or
Yeah,
have you always stayed at that number?
we started with three, and what we do is when people arrive, we give them a tour of our property. We have 40 acres, and we take them around, introduce them to our animals, and show that we have a wooded area. Then we take them back to show the wild animals and the deer and turkeys, that sort of thing. So three people sometimes became a little bit too difficult to do logistically because a lot of times they'd all arrive at the same time, and we would run out of time to be able to do that. Two people, two RVs at a time, it works much better.
Awesome. Kind of getting more into the revenue aspect of it. How is it impacted your business, financially? Have you guys seen an increase in product sales, from that aspect?
Well, that's interesting because when we started this, we really didn't have what we our farm was just basically to breed and sell llamas. We really didn't have a store or anything like that. So when we first saw Harvest Host, we were kind of wondering whether this was really something that would be good for us. At a llama conference, we met a family from North Carolina who was doing Harvest Host, and they had glowing reviews on it. So we thought we'd look into it. And what we've done is we've partnered with people from Ecuador, Peru, and some farms in the United States. And we bring in items to sell at a small store that we have. Now we are taking some money from the store, which we didn't have before. So yes, it has been a good thing for us.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Beyond revenue, have you guys seen anything in regards to like, increased brand awareness or even repeat customers, people that may have traveled the first year to your farm and then maybe the next year? Have you seen anything like that?
We've had a couple of hosts or a couple of RVs have been back 4 times.
Wow.
We've, like you say, our reviews have all been outstanding. And there were several that have come back a couple of times. We've actually made friends that keep in touch with us by texting and emails. So it has really helped us because we have they actually accompany us when we do the feeding, and after feeding for 24 years, it gets kind of mundane, the same thing over and over again. But when we're showing people around, it makes it much nicer. So we enjoy giving them the stories of our animals and listening to their adventures. So it's been really good for us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess going off that, if, you guys been with us for 2 years, is there any, memorable experience that you've had or anything specifically, maybe someone traveled from a different part of the country, and do you have any specific examples there?
Well, yeah, actually, we've had some international
Okay.
people that have been visited us. People who have come to the country, they buy or rent an RV and travel around the country. We've had people from England, France, Austria, and China.
Wow.
I mentioned Canada, and of course, all across the United States.
A lot of Canadians.
Yeah.
Language has been interesting sometimes, but we've managed to work it out. I will tell you one thing that's very convenient for us is we're in Florida and we're about 6 miles off of I-75.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of people, the north coming down for the winter and then going back, we're kind of in a nice area that they just hop off and stay with us. And it makes it real easy to stay with us 2 times a year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know, a lot of people in the winter time travel to Florida. They travel down south as, snowbirds as we would call them. Do you see an increase in traffic during those winter months that, maybe different parts of the country might not be able to experience?
Definitely, during the times that they are on the way down and on their way back, we get more responses.
We slow down over the summer.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we slow down quite a bit in the summer.
Which is one of the reasons we put in electric for some of the RVs so that they can run their ACs.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's, especially warmer states during that time, I think are in an advantageous position because they're getting the travelers that, I live here in Missouri. No one's traveling here during the winter, but they're going down to places like Florida to, stay and spend money. So that brings up a great point. Kind of getting into like the time that you all spent on this program. How much of a time investment is it for you? Do you see yourself like how much of your day would you say it takes up when you guys have a stay request?
Well, The tour that we give is usually about 20 to 25 minutes, depending on how many questions we get. And then we let them settle in. And then later on, when we feed the animals, they come out with us, and that's usually about an hour. And then they come back to the store and they look at that. That's another 20 minutes or so. And if they wish to have a further conversation, we can go a couple hours, and sometimes we've done that. But it's basically not, except for the tour, we're really not spending much more time than we did normally.
Well, and to throw in, we are retired. This would be more difficult if we were working. Being senior citizens, we just have to work around our doctor appointments.
But it's nice to be able to pick and choose the days that
Yes.
we're going to be open. And
Yes.
that's one of the best things about this thing.
Absolutely. And then for anyone, on this call or otherwise considering joining Harvest Host, what I guess what is one piece of advice that you'd give them starting up as a Harvest Host location?
Give them something that they want to visit, and something they would appreciate. Spend a little time with them, but not so much time that we become a pest.
That's one thing we've been hearing from a lot of people is we really enjoyed this. You spent time with us. You explained, like Volama Acres is our last name and llama put together, Voling and llama. And just explaining that and talking to people, they say, you spent the most time with us of any Harvest Host.
Yeah, I think that brings up a great point, Kathy. That personal touch is really, I think what sets farms apart from a lot of our other locations. You guys more often than not live on the farm, so you're able to give them that personable experience. So that brings up a great point as well. But yeah, I mean, is there anything you guys would like to share else about the host program? We certainly appreciate you having you guys on and talking about your experience. Is there anything before we move on, anything else that you can think of?
Just a couple other things that we had that would like to share. We had a couple here that had a 10-month-old baby, and she was hand feeding one of our llamas, and this baby giggled the entire time that she was doing this, and it was really fun watching that. The kids that visit here, they really enjoy it. We had one special needs person here, and he hugged one of our llamas for 15 minutes, and the llama tolerated it. And those are the type of things that we didn't experience before, and now we are.
Awesome. I appreciate y'all sharing your experience with us. And we'll just go ahead and move forward.
So we have a couple questions,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
is it mostly couples that you see on your farm, or is it families? Kathy and Bruce, what do you see mostly? Obviously, the
Mostly it's
snowbirds will
retired.
be couples, probably.
Yeah, mostly it's retired couples.
Okay.
We do have families on occasion. This coming weekend, we have a family with 3 kids coming. But sometimes they're singles. A lot of people are working out of their RVs remotely.
Right.
So we get a little bit of each. But if I had to say, I would say probably a good 75% of them are retired folks looking for something different to do.
Now, one more question for Kathy and Bruce, because I know every county is a little different, but how did you work with your county to allow the RV on your property, the overnight stays?
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Actuality, there is an ordinance that would prohibit this from happening, but it's basically a ordinance that says that you can't stay overnight in an RV unless you're in a campground. We had a neighbor that reported us when we first started this. It's only an ordinance that is enforced when the neighbor complains. We met with the neighbor, worked out such a system for ourselves, and that they were agreeable to. And since then, we have not had a problem. But that is an instance that you need to be aware of.
Yeah, and I think it's important. Like everyone has their own unique situation. We work in different, of course, all the different zones of the United States and Canada. So again, I'll provide my contact information after this, and we can always talk through what works for, your unique situation. Oftentimes we have host within 5 to 10 miles of most other host locations. So we always refer people over to those hosts to kind of get an idea of how they, circumvented that situation. So cool. Uh, was there any other questions for Kathy and Bruce? Okay, moving on. Thanks
Well,
again.
if
Oh,
I
go
can
ahead.
say, as to a store, people are always asking for products from, the farm or from, and we just do not have a lot directly. We have a small number of animals, and I do like some crafty things in my store. So, but they're always asking, do you have eggs? Do you have cheese? Meat? So that's really good for people that can supply that.
Do you offer any other agritourism activities? Do you normally offer tours of the farm, or are you just harvest host?
We do.
Yes, if people,
Like,
we haven't expanded into local tours, but people do hear about us for word of mouth, and when that happens, we do have tours for the local people too.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. I think people, me included, they like farm fresh products. So they're traveling, instead of traveling to a grocery store, they get to stay at a farm location where they get, straight farm to table. So that's awesome. Cool. There we go. So next steps, really 3 easy steps to get set up with us. So again, just to kind of reiterate that number, our members spend an average of $50 per host visit. And that's usually just for one person. That doesn't necessarily uh, include people that they travel with, families, all that kind of stuff. And then 100% of the money spent at your site goes directly back to your business. We don't take a penny of that. So after this, basically you would just complete your application, and the application is a reflection of what your profile will look like on our site. So you can change the information that you initially fill out at any given time. As soon as tomorrow, you can start designing your host profile and really get it, displayed exactly how you want it on our website. Our onboarding team will work with you to make sure that you got all your, I's dotted, T's crossed, and make sure that you appear how you prefer to on our website. And then really within 3 to 5 business days, you can go live on our site to start accepting RVers. Of course, we're in spring now, and travel season is really starting to ramp up. So for people, considering the Harvest Host program, we really encourage you to give it a try, and we'll get you set up and start sending more business your way. So that's pretty much it. Real straightforward process, no cost, no contracts. It's just a way to, again, promote your business in a different sort of avenue, and we welcome anyone to, again, give it a try. So yeah, if you want to scan this QR code, this will take you directly into the application. I will actually put my direct cell phone in the comments here. But I guess from here we'll take any general questions and if you guys have them. And Sheila, yes, I saw your note. Sheila, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and put my phone number here. This is my direct cell phone number. Then Nancy, you would put, yeah. So again, kind of like the zoning and ordinance. That's always kind of a trickier situation, but we again can work around those situations and really talk you through the process there.
I only got a partial number.
Yes, I did. You're right. Thank you.
There we go.
Try that again.
so
Bam.
does everyone get to choose the length of stay, or is it always just one night
So
to
the
encourage people
program,
to move around?
yeah, so the program is at least originally designed for just that one overnight stay. However, you can offer, like on the application, you can say that you can offer up to 7 additional nights, and really you can do beyond that. Like we're not in the business of telling our members and our host exactly how they should, travel, especially once they're at the host locations. We just ask that they support the business, they're respectful of the property, and the host can, of course, up to their discretion, offer additional nights at whatever price point they think is fair. On average, I would say people probably charge anywhere from 40 to like $75 for additional nights. But again, that really depends on your area of the country, where you're at within your state is really important. But again, completely up to the host if they want to offer that.
And do you have members who offer these spots, especially during like the U-pick season? So you would go and stay on the farm and pick blueberries or go to their crop days in the fall.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, U-Pick is like a good subset of our farm locations. So once you get to that point, whether that be now in the spring or till fall, use your profile to promote that. I mean, hey, we're doing U-Pick. You put your prices on there. You put the dates when that U-Pick is available, and really just promote it.
Okay.
And
And
then
just
Nancy, or go ahead, sorry.
you were getting to it. Nancy's clarifying about charging for additional nights.
Absolutely. And it's encouraged to charge for additional nights. Me personally, I would say look at maybe Airbnbs in your area and subtract like, I don't know, 20 or $30 from that price since they're not staying in a home, they're staying in their RV. But absolutely, you can charge for additional nights.
And how many members do you have in Florida?
That's a great question. I can get that information, just not right now. But I would imagine a good amount. There are at least people that live in the southern states as well.
Yeah, I was talking to a member today about a different issue, and they are a member of Harvest Host. So,
Yeah, and we can certainly get that data, no problem at all. It takes a little bit. So
of course, yeah,
yeah,
just curious.
yeah. And then Nancy, yeah, 25, 30, whatever you think is fair. Like, I hate to give you a non-answer, but again, it's your business. So, when they're there, they spend money at the store, you know, farm tours, any other experiences you offer. And then if you decide you want to open it up for additional nights, you charge, 30 bucks, I would honestly say is on the lower end. But whatever you think is fair. 'Cause I guess the best way I kind of describe it is, and we're not trying to take business away from campgrounds, but people that want a more, RVers that want a more unique experience instead of showing up to a campground, paying for the spot, 50, 60 bucks, whatever, and then hooking up. They take that same 50, 60 bucks that they would have spent at a campground. They stay at your cool farm location and spend that money there.
Yeah, staying at a farm's much more fun than, um, I mean, some campgrounds are pretty amazing, but being
Absolutely.
on a farm is definitely a unique experience.
Yeah. And that, again, that's all part of our mission. Like we just want to give people a unique place to or a unique situation to travel in, while also supporting small businesses. And this is again a win-win for both parties. So
So from the other perspective, the other side of this, the members of Harvest Host, they pay an annual fee, and
correct,
that gives them access to um, the website and app and locations.
correct. So there's a yearly subscription fee that our
Okay.
members pay. It ranges depending on the membership plan that they choose, but on average, it's around $100 a year. And that even itself typically pays for itself within 2 to 3 Harvest Host stays.
So yeah.
And we have such a large discrepancy between the number of members we have and the number of hosts we have that allows us to provide it to the host locations completely cost free. Not sure of the exact math, but I think it's something like 50 or 55 members per one host. So really plenty of the pie to go around and really opportunity for each one of our hosts to be successful within the program. Not a problem at all, Nancy. These are great questions. So, however you collect, like transactionally, if you're wanting to do the extra nights thing, you can either, cash and check in hand. You could set up like a Venmo, like a business Venmo, PayPal. We don't like, however you choose to do that, we don't get involved in that. So, if you want to set that up on like a payment website, you can do it that way, or just ask directly if they have cash or check in hand.
So there's no payment program platform
Yeah,
through
we
your
don't.
site.
Yeah, there's no like proprietary software that between host and members built into the website. And really that just kind of makes it easier all around so you don't have to subscribe to something else. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's a description portion on each host profile, and you could put, I mean, you can make that thing a page long if you want. And you can really put the details, how you conduct your business and, where you want them to park once they arrive. Once you accept a stay request, you open up that dialogue between you and the member. So you can send all that information directly to them. So they kind of get an idea of what to expect before they arrive. Yeah, it's very hands off. I mean, too, you can also, like, once you kind of get into the flow of becoming a host location, you can even actually set up your profile for auto approval. So once you have a set schedule and you kind of have that momentum built, as long as a member is requesting to stay within the parameters that you set, it would just automatically approve them. You don't have to do that, but if you want to, you totally can. Cool. Was there any other questions?
You, excuse me, your phone number dropped before I could write it down.
Oh, yeah, here. Can you see
Sorry,
the screen there? It's the 314-691-9285 number.
9285.
Yes,
That's what I
ma'am.
missed.
Yeah, I did road match. I did
I
definitely
just
forget a digit there. For someone that types all day for a living, you'd think I'd be able to
I
do
just
that
put it in
faster.
again. Yeah, it's the 314 number. I just posted it
Thank you,
at the
sir.
end of the
Appreciate it.
chat. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And there's my direct cell phone. When you call Harvest Host, you're always going to get a real person on the line. As Sarah had mentioned, I am a account executive, so I'll walk you through the steps of the program. We'll pass you off to the onboarding team. It's a very easy process. And yeah, I'm available all the time. If you want to shoot me a text, give me a call, whatever you need to do.
Well,
And
I
we
have
have about, or go ahead.
I have a couple questions on the app, so I will just direct those later to you.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. My line is open.
Okay.
Cool. And then just to throw a couple numbers at you guys too, we actually have over 100 farms in Florida of
okay.
our over 2,000. So about what's that? I can't do math right now. Like 5% of all of our farms are in Florida. And then about 150 locations total, farms, wineries, and breweries. So the majority of our locations in Florida are farms, and our
Okay.
members love farm locations. So really great way to bring more business to your location and market what you guys have.
Great. That's good to know.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. Were there any more questions for Ben while we have him? Okay, I'm gonna take over your screen and
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
close us out.
Well, thank you so much for
Um,
having me. I appreciate everyone that stayed on the call and heard us out. I'm happy to again answer any questions moving forward as well. Thank you, Sarah.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Ben. That was very informative, and it sounds like we already have some members who are doing it, so that's great. Um, I just wanted to remind everyone that our annual conference is coming up, Conference and Farm Tour this July. Kathy and Bruce, we'd love to see you there to learn more about agritourism, and it's in Kissimmee. And just closing out, thank you very much for everyone, especially to you, Ben, for the presentation, and for Kathy and Bruce giving us some real life example of how this is working for you. You can find us on our website, Facebook, Instagram, and we have a mobile app where we actually list our members. So not quite as robust as Harvest Host, but you can go into our app and find events near you. So it looks like we may have another couple chats. Let me just check before we hang up. Nope, just thank you. So thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. And we'll see y'all in July. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you so much, everyone.
All right.
Appreciate you having me.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Sarah, before you go,
Yes.
would it be possible to link from our mobile app, is there a jumping point to Harvest Host or vice versa? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, that's something I could talk to Ben about.
Mhm.
Because it's right, because our app is for users. It's not for our farms necessarily.
Right. That might be something interesting, way to, I mean, if we join, then we'll be on their site anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah, if we can kind of
Yeah.
link the two.
Might be a
Yeah,
good.
that's a good idea. Yeah.
All right. I got
Bye.
ideas, girl.
You always do.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye, everyone. Thank you.